sit at the gate, and I just want to show you how I always bring her out onto the street. We do this with the front door as well. So you'd have her sit on the inside of your living room or by your front door, open the door, she waits, you step out like this. Every boundary, every curb, we do this everywhere. And we're doing it here with the gate that goes out onto the street as well. She waits till I come back next to her. She pops up, you say no. Just gently but firmly put her back. See, I just applied a little bit of tension. I touched her butt and it went back down. Just make sure that she always does it your way. She waits till you come back next to her, then you say, okay. And she walks through with you without pulling. As you can see, she's not straining and pulling out here. A lot of this, the secret, so to speak, of how to have her not be aggressive with dogs on the street, sit, is how you start the walk. And this was started on the inside of the house, on a leash, and at that first door, if she pops up, because we have a mailman that's right over here. Will you show the mailman that she just saw? So I just did that circle. I don't know if you caught that. So she popped up, I said no. Just reset her. If she makes a mistake, you just reset her that way. Gently but firmly put her back. Never say SIT twice. If you start repeating the command over and over again, she'll become desensitized to hearing it, and she'll just ignore you over time. So just at the curb as well. Here at the curb, I just do a little walk around, sit, stay, make sure she's really calm and waiting. Okay, we actually haven't started the walk yet, because here I've got my front door, I've got my front gate, I got my front curb, and then on the other side of the street, I also enforce a calm walk across the street. See, if she pulls ahead, I just tap her a little bit. This doesn't take any muscle at all. And then on the other side of the street, sit, have her sit, and then release her, always with a loose leash, because she's calm and not pulling. Go, release her to be free out here. Now the walk starts, but because you took a couple of minutes on your way out to handle her in a way that where she can start the walk calmly, and you see the result of this. Go over there and come out. So you're gonna back up there because you can catch the whole shot. Somebody's gonna come with a dog across the street. When you start the walk this way and she starts becoming really calm over the days and weeks that pass, because she anticipates what's going to happen because of the way that you handle her, then you see that she becomes less and less reactive on the street. And her big issue was aggression with other dogs, like that one. Come, see, she's looking. Good. But we practice our come command a lot, and then we have practiced it out here in the presence of other dogs. Come, we got surprised by that dog. Good. And you see how she's non-reactive here in our environment, on our street with other dogs. And obviously she doesn't have a problem with this dog. And this dog's kind of a jumpy hyper dog as well, and really close. There's no pulling. Come, and I'll just show you. Good. Me calling her away a few times. In real life, when you have her back with you on your street, you're going to call her away and from that other dog, and you're going to, let's say I'm you, okay? So that dog pops up, come from over there and come back into the shot. And now you come back. So you're walking along, oh, they pop out right in front of us. Come, you're going to say come. Good, you got a treat in your right hand, you grab the leash with your left and you go the other way, or maybe you cross the street, or if there's a car parked here, you go on the other side of the car and they can go this way, you know, something like that. So you're not even going to be standing there like I have been the last couple of minutes and calling her repeatedly away from the dog. You're just going to call her once, get her away, step into her, get her going the other way or around something else, and keep going while that distraction passes and you go the opposite way or you go another way. And that's how to handle her on the street with another dog. We're going to practice with a little dog because sometimes they're triggered by a certain type of dog, big or little, and we're just going to pick a real jumpy, active little dog and make sure that we show you that she's non-reactive with every dog now here. Surprise! Come! It just turns out that, good, the first dog was a Doberman and the second dog was a Min Pin, kind of like a miniature Doberman, but they're both the most active little dogs we have. This one's little. And you see she's completely non-reactive here because in this spot and on this street and different spots, we've always practiced calling her away from the other dog We've always started the walks like we showed you. We've always been doing the down stays and sit stays, which over time have created a state of mind in her that's way less reactive. Dogs do associate behavior with location and people handling them. So let me just do one more time, really close. Come, call her away. You see how easy it is now to handle her in the presence of other dogs on the street. Thank you. That's good. So they do associate behavior with people and places. So she associates this behavior with me here. I taught this to her. We know that you brought her to us because she had some pretty crazy leash aggression when you were walking her. So here's the secret of this, is that if you don't do my moves and if you're not really super careful, once I'm off the scene at your house, she could go back to doing that with you, and then you bring her back here and she's perfect here, because all she knows is this behavior here. She associates being handled by me in this area, in this neighborhood. We've done it on all these different streets and even across the street, but still here she does it differently in her mind. And that's why we do all the lessons with you at your house. We make sure that we're doing, we're making sure you can do what I'm doing. If there's a problem, we have to kind of work our way up to having you be in this close proximity with other dogs in the walk. We might have to start far away, like I did with her in the beginning. I had to be 50 feet away. I would have one of my staff be like way down there by that tree. You can see the big tree back there, right? And start there, because at some distance they're easier to handle, and then every day you get a little bit closer gradually. Maybe you get stuck in a place for a while and then you have to go a little bit further. So you don't have a facility like I have with employees with other dogs you can practice with, but you can, if you see somebody coming, you can back off, call her to come to you and get at a distance, or so you can practice a little bit and then go across the street or something. Or if you see somebody walking away, you can call her away from that dog. Good, walking away. That's what you're going to need to do with her, even though we're going to practice, you and I in person, and her, and I'm going to be there while you do this, so you get a feel for it. You're going to get the video showing that she can be this way with other dogs, obviously. Now we just have to transfer this good behavior with other dogs on the street to you on your street, and make sure that it's all about you doing what I'm doing what I did to get her to this point here. Make sure that you're following the rules. And if you make mistakes, which you probably will, everybody does, you'll know exactly what you did, and you can't do that again if you want her to stay this way and be this easy to handle with you at your house in the presence of other dogs on the street. So that's what this is all about. The video, and then the visits with you at home, the lessons which we're about to start. We're gonna do a little sit stay here. Lots of excitement here. Sit, lots of activity. Practicing the sit stay, no. Okay, sometimes she'll collapse into a down when she's anxious. So I just reset her. There's a lot of people around here, a lot of noises. You can see she's a little bit overstimulated, but still she's able to stay in a sit stay. She'd much rather be in a down stay. I walk back next to her, eye contact, straight down, good. And to release her, never restraining her, of course, pat her chest and say go. She's very excited around here, but she's still able to focus enough to stay in a sit stay until she's released. And practicing as she gets it, practicing in the presence of ever increasing levels of distractions really helps a lot. And then you have this kind of calmness, in a lot of different places. Not that you take her to a place this busy, but it also, if she can handle this kind of overstimulation, and it also helps you with her being able to handle other dogs when she sees them out on the street, which helps a lot. Down. So we're practicing a down stay where a lot of people pass by with big carts and stuff like that. And I'm just practicing this down stay where I walk around both ways. And you can just do this, what I've been doing, have her go down and practice a down stay in your backyard, in your front yard, in your house, your kitchen, that little basic downstay. Good. That, you know, the more places you do this, the more she generalizes. Hi there. And the more places, different areas you do this in, now that she has it, she knows how to do it. It helps her generalize in practicing in different spots, and pretty soon she'll do it anytime, any place, anywhere. And we do have her, now we have her to the point where she can handle some pretty big distractions being out here in public like this. Good. And we're just going to wait for some big carts to pass by or something to pass by. All right, here comes a noisy cart just to show you her downstay. She looks at me. Good. I don't know if you could see, but she looked at it, she looked back at me, she stayed in her downstay, I rewarded her. That's what we're looking for. That's what she's likely to do. Something approaches, she notices it, she decides to turn back to you. You need to reward her, because that's exactly what we want. Instead of doing what she used to do, which could be to pop up and go over there, especially with a dog. It should be the same type of reaction with a dog, since that's your big issue. She notices it, chooses to turn away, looks at you, you give her a treat. If you don't have a treat, love her up, tell her she's good, pet her, kiss her, that kind of thing, for paying attention to you instead of doing what she used to do, which is to run over there or pull on the leash and bark and whatever she was doing with you before. Good. There's some more carts that are coming out. So she notices it, looks back at me. Good. And it's a good place to practice because wheels are often a trigger for dogs to pop up and even chase. So we're always practicing in the presence of wheels. Things on wheels. Notice the way I'm rewarding her. Good. See how she's waiting until I place the reward there, withdraw, and then she takes it off the ground. You're always rewarding this way when she's doing, and cars going past really close to us, people walking past us really close to us, rewarding like this. Good. Say good the moment she takes it. Because every time you do that, she starts to feel like this great feeling when you say good and you don't have food later on. She'll feel like she actually got a piece of food. So I'm going to release her. This is the only way she comes out of a downstay, is when you come back and get her. That makes for a very solid downstay. She's waiting for you to come back and get her. Come back, stand next to her, say, okay, have her sit, and then you release her by patting her chest and saying, go, and then she's on free time. So we always have her sit before we send her on the mat. We say, go to your mat, walk her over, and then you say down. She'll go right into a down. And we're practicing this today out here in the yard, but we can do it inside, we can do it in the backyard as well. Good, it's exactly the way that you saw me rewarding her in a downstay out in public. So we started practicing this here just to teach her a downstay before we ever took her out in public. And now, because we did the mat here inside the walls where there's a lot less distractions, and we gradually worked up to bigger and bigger distractions here, now that she can do this, good. She can do it out in public as you can see on the video. So I'll just show you just briefly some of the things that I started to do. First, I would walk around both ways. That's always what we start, because so many dogs can't even do this. They can't accept somebody, whoever's handling them, to walk behind them, to stand behind them. They'll pop up. So that's the first thing that we start working on in the first day. And then we start making things harder by doing things like maybe we pull on the leash. Not a lot to hurt her, but obviously, enough to where she think that we wanted her to come to us. She knows, though. Good. She knows that she doesn't leave that mat unless we release her in that one specific way. And then you can drop the leash because we're in a fenced yard and just show me, walking over here, walk farther away, even going out, and show her. She's very disinterested in what I'm doing because we've done these types of things so many times. And she learned there's only one way that she ever leaves that mat, and that's when I come and release her. Good. So just a bunch of different things we can do with her on the mat. The byproduct of being able to do this mat and you finding things at your house that would trigger her, and then working through them like we did here, the byproduct is she's able to handle things on the outside world easier as well. Distractions out there because of the practicing you do on your property, in your yard, in your house with her, where you control the level of distractions. Always working your way up, like maybe it's opening the front door, she pops up. Well, you work with her until you keep resetting her. Okay, let's say that she made a mistake and she's off her mat, and you're going to say no and come back. You're going to step into her like this, do your little circle just like I did. She will probably put herself back. If she doesn't, you just kind of ease her back with your foot on the leash. You already said down once when you sent her the first time, so don't ever repeat that command. So we're shooting for that first one time you said down to hold for the whole 5 minutes. If you do this for 5 minutes, that way you really have a solid down. You say it once, she does it, and that holds with the other commands as well. We only say them once because that's what everybody wants, is they want the dog to do it the first time you tell them. And you'll have that if you practice this way. So if you're trying something that she makes a mistake on, you reset her and put her back like that, and maybe the second time you go and you just open the door a little bit, and if she can handle that, she still is there, you go back to her. Nope, she misunderstood. She thought I was going to release her. You go back to her and she stayed down just because you did a little bit of that distraction. Good. And each time you kind of work your way up, maybe opening the door a little bit more till you're back to the point that made her make the mistake last time, only now because you worked your way back up to that mistake, that part that she had trouble with. She has a success. When she has a success for the first time after making mistakes before, give her a double reward so she really gets it. Wow. Good. Now I got that and I stayed down, I got a big reward. So it shows her, hey, if I work hard at not making mistakes, the reward is bigger as well. Pretty soon, she's doing some really difficult stuff. And to her, this is a game. It's not even training. She doesn't even know she's being trained. It's a fun game that she loves to do with you, and she has no idea that she's being stabilized, that she's thinking at a higher level, a deeper level, her focus is at a deeper level, and that she can handle distractions better than before, and that means even the distractions out on the street. So if she tries to get up though, nope. I'm usually not talking this much while I'm training. I'm not talking at all, actually. So she's waiting until I actually say, okay, I lead her off the mat, have her sit when she's off the mat, and then from here it's go and she's free. Always pick that mat up immediately because she a lot of times will want to go run over and hang out on it, and this is only for this, whatever mat you designate as the training mat, it's only for this. You put it down, you go get her, she's on a leash, you send her to the mat, she gets up and you release her. That's the only way that she gets off, is when you release her, and then immediately you pick it up because it's only used for one thing. It's not a doggy bed, it's not to hang out on. And so it becomes very powerful because of the way you use it. She's only doing that one training exercise on this mat, and it makes for a much better downstay over time if you handle it this way. So don't use a doggy bed for the training, because that's a free time place that she can come and go as she pleases from a doggy bed, and she already has an association with that doggy bed that, this is where she relaxes. So don't use that for training, because it will kind of dilute the power of the training. Just use the mat for one thing only, and you'll see her, if you keep doing it this way, her downstay is going to get better and better as you practice more and more. Sit. We practice this little greeting routine with a lot of different people, and it's a great way to teach her not to jump on new people, or even people that she knows, that she loves, that she hasn't seen for a while or for a day or something. So we have her sit, You saw me step over, I gave him a little treat. She knows to stay in a sit stay. If she gets up, you say nope. And you just step into her. And you reset her. See, I didn't even have to say SIT again. She knows that she kind of lost focus for a second. I'm going to repeat this part again. She needs to wait until you actually go back next to her. He already has a treat. You're going to pat her chest and say, go say hi. She gets a treat. You can pet her. Come. Call her back to you. Good. Step into her just like this. Your left hand has a leash. Sit. Just do it exactly like this every time. Step away. Treat again. You can pet her next time. Pat her chest and say, go say hi. She gets petted. Come. I call her back to come to me. Good. It's great for dogs that were jumping because sit. Everything's down on her level. The treat, the pet, all of that's right there. There's no reason for her to jump. If she jumps, you tell the people, nope, do that. Your hands go up. If you correct her or push her away or say her name, you're marking that behavior and it will never go away. You'll perpetuate it. Yeah, she might stop jumping, but you're going to be just doing that the rest of her life. She jumps, you correct, on and on and on. So this shows her not to jump. You see she's not jumping. She hasn't seen him for a while. She loves this guy. We're just going to do it one more time. I think she's a little uncomfortable because she's kind of bony and this is concrete. So we're going to make this quick. Go say hi one last time. And then we're going to say, come, call her back. You also get to practice, good, you get to practice a little sit stay. Let's see, I didn't do one thing. Sit. You can also, before you send her over, you can do the treat thing and then practice a little sit stay where you walk around both ways and she stays there. And then from there, send her over, and he doesn't have a treat, but you can just pet her. Go. So we're come. Good girl. We're incorporating a lot of the training in this. You got the sit stay, you got the sending over, the go command, you've got the come command, you've got her greeting people respectfully. So it's a great thing to do with your other family members, friends or anybody that comes over, because you're actually practicing a lot of the training in the process of teaching her how to be appropriate with other people.